What's up, everyone? This is Cher talking. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about announcements for months in Saga Universe. Well, sorry if my voice is a little off. I'm still pretty sick, so bear with me. Let's go. First thing we have is announcement of two banners. Well, we were waiting for them because in JP they always have New Year's banners. This time we have double banners even. So the first one is this one called the Rei Festival Shiato. There is Rastaban, Shiato, and Nildon, characters from Saga Frontier 1, and they are mystics. So we don't have information about this banner yet, so I'll wait till they announce the information about the changes on Taiwanese video. Then we have the Saga Year Festival Romancing Asellus. We have here Asellus, Princess Rei and Mesarthim, also characters from Saga Frontier 1. Those are pretty famous. This is the last version of Asellus that uses swords up to this point on JP. Princess Rei is still a debuffer in status ailment, Inflictor, and Mesarthim is a support unit with heal capabilities, and they were all buffed in Global, with Mesarthim getting the best buffs. We'll talk more about them in a few. We have the information already, and we also got this information about the new event called New Year Box. So we have even S versions of the new characters. I hope we'll be able to craft rainbow weapons for them as well, it seems like. And it has the same HP cap as the current conquest, so you can choose where you want to farm. That's actually very nice. Now, let's talk about the banner. Now we are here on Reddit in a post by Hands43. Thank you so much for doing this amazing job as always. He translated the video from the Taiwanese community and compared all the status skills from the JP version and the global one. So Asos got a buff to her intelligence, reaching 101%, and her charisma is now 15% higher. I kinda understand what they did here. This Asellus is primarily a debuffer, not a damage dealer, but I was expecting a little more STR just to fix her damage output. But her focus is on agility and will as well, because she needs to go first, and also needs to be protected against status ailments. For passives, she has the same as the last Matriarch, starting the fight with 12 BP and getting 1 BP on the end of each turn. It allows her to get some very good cycles. The second passive has a 25% chance to enter an evasion stance and recover HP of around 1000. Then the last one is called High Protect Tension, increasing her damage output by 20% and reducing all damage she receives by 30. This is super important right now when facing hard challenges, and she just follows the trend of having higher sustain. The first skill has a SP attack, only slash now, but buffs her STR by up to 25% on max level. It's actually very nice when she does not need to debuff or use any other skill. She'll be increasing her damage output without spending any sort of BP. Skill number 2 is a 6 BP full AoE attack with C power that also has a chance to debuff intelligence. The intelligence is good enough so that it will land in most situations. If not, you will have to bring someone like Matriarch with Peon of Victory or I token to fix this problem. The good part is that it debuffs 20%. She can use this 3 times in a row, and she can inherit Mirage Stab from her past style that is now amplifiable into a 3 BP skill, so you can open 3 times debuffing 20%, then use the Mirage Stab that debuffs 15, and then when you get enough BP back, you can just debuff 20% again, getting you a head start. The last attack is a triple S single target skill that grants morale up and guard up large for her, so that she does more damage, sustains better for 4 turns and recovers her own HP. This is something that you should be using only if you choose to use Mirage Step instead of the second skill. If 15% is good enough for you and she needs to heal because she got attacked, and you want to use this just to heal and not need another dedicated heal on her, so it makes sense, right? Because of 12 AP on start, she can also inherit the counter attack from her Mystic style that will work well in dedicated scenarios. But the best inheritance in my opinion comes from her S style that is now available in all banners. That gives her Rising Nova Plus. She starts with 12 EP and gets 4 per turn. That skill costs 9. That means that she can use it plenty of times and eventually once every 2 turns or so. If a boss attacks 3 times in a turn and buffs himself with each hit, that means that you need to stop that. And Rising Nova Plus is even better than Dark Wash that uses 10 BP instead. Because of High Protect Tension, she can be used easily in boss fights, do not take too much damage, and will help you buff break. You don't really need inheritance from any of the past versions of Asellus, it just increments and gives her more options for rotations, but she is good enough with just Rising Nova Plus. A character that will receive a high SS grade in our tier list. For Princess Rei, they buffed a lot of her main status because she was in need. Her endurance was pretty poor on 35, now it's 50%. And her agility was buffed to 99. She is a mage, she needs agility for accuracy and to go first because she also debuffs and inflicts ailments. Her intelligence was buffed to 117%, so it's the highest intelligence in the game right now. With a very good focus on will as well, she will hardly take ailments if you are bringing the right setups. For passive, she gets 15% increase in damage at all times, then has a lot of other things, like 10% more if she's not on full HP, and if she's not on full HP, damage will be reduced by 10% as well, and she will also recover around 800 HP if she's dead on the end of a turn, just like Eagle Ball. Then the second passive gives her 1 BP when she attacks, and he recovers around 170 HP. And then the last high protect tension, we talked about this, increasing damage output by 20 and reducing all damage she receives by 30. This is actually very nice. But there's one thing, the past version of Rei had an intelligence boost on every turn, so that one may still have higher chances to inflict some sorts of ailments, while this one has higher intelligence on the start. And for skills, we have 1 BP single target Shadow and Blunt attack. Yeah, she's a Shadow and Blunt specialist just like Halloween Death, and has a chance to buff Will by 15% on max value. It's a pretty cheap skill with some utility, and it's even cheaper than Firehead, so very nice, with double elements too. The second one is a 9 BP single target attack that has a chance to buff Will by 20% when the attack lands. I think it's more for those moments where you already got the enemy inflicted with some ailments and want to do some nuke here and there to keep with damage. Then the third attack is a fully one with Shadow and Blunt. A power was buffed to reach only 10 BP since she lost high battle tension, and this has a chance to buff Will by 15% on max value. That's already good enough because of the damage being a power double elements, but it also has medium chance to inflict confusion. So right on start, 170% will be enough to confuse most targets because of that being medium. So very nice, and if they don't get inflicted with confusion by Rei, you can bring yet another inflictor, and because of the Will debuff, you still have higher chance. So a character that is focused on debuffing Will and try to inflict ailments, but since what she does can be replicated by many different characters, especially the confusion part, Wagner's can do, Saruin can do, and Creator can do that, I can tell you that she can be easy. Skip it, and we receive a medium double S grade in our tier list. And the last character is Mesarthim. She's a cold mage, and they buffed her agility to 105%, that's big, and intelligence to 116%, just 1 point from the top, that is Rei now. So we also have bonuses for those two status, very nice, and she will have the highest accuracy right now for spells. Well, they also buffed her will, so that she doesn't get inflicted with ailments so easily. Still pretty low, but it's just kind of similar to her endurance status, so she takes similar damage from both physical and magical. And they changed her first passive, giving her 10% reduction in damage alongside Power Charge 3, that's actually nice. The second one they changed, it was something that only triggered on the start of a round. Now it triggers and returns a 15% buff to intelligence even before she attacks in 1 BP. That means that she gets access to 4 BP per turn, while also buffing her intelligence to do more damage for long fights. And the last passive is called Fired Up 6. Yeah, I know, it's a bummer, because she is another healer that can use heals without spending LP, and that is very nice in hard content. But I believe they did this because they still want to keep some risk in these characters, and we got a Spell Girl that has high protect tension and she survives better because she was on a UDX banner. She also has a different type of shield. Then we got the Christmas Empress now, and the Christmas Empress does not have any damage reduction passive, not even 10%, but you can inherit the AoE into the Global Axe, so that you have Scrumguard to the party. But Mesarthim is a different character, and she focuses on damage more than the other two options. And her first skill is a 4 BP full AoE attack with deep power that hits for cold and sun while recovering HP of around 170s to the party. If you are using characters that buff love and will like Token, like Matriarch, Peon of Peace, this value can increase a lot, especially if you are using Tortoise. Healing for 350 or even 400 if you are using Tortoise. So very nice in some dedicated fights where you can afford to use this formation. Sometimes we are just locked out in Tiger's Den, but when you are not, you can just bring her and she can heal. We have characters that heal much more with Rag Robin, Steelblade Phoenix, or Mirza, Leon, or Gerard and their Steelblade Lights. But sometimes they are not enough to carry the whole party, meaning that you need an extra healer, and you can choose between a Spell Girl, Mesarthim, or Empress, or even bring two. Depends on the situations, you have to evaluate, but you don't need all these three characters, to be honest. Only one will be enough, like 95% of the time. Then the second skill is a C-Power 7 BP attack that gives morale up small, increasing damage by 15% to all surviving allies and lasts for 2 turns. It's more for farming, to be honest, because I really don't think you'll be using this skill in boss fights. Then we have the third skill, full AoE Cold and Blunt. Fast in global, they change it and grants attack enhancement. In JP it says it's 20%, here in global I believe it's 30%. That increases damage for all surviving allies. So she can be used on farming setups, and even increasing the damage of the characters that go after her because she's a fast attacker. So she would be kept in high status most of the time, unlike someone like Nawal's daughter that is super hard to train because she does not contribute, while Mesarthim will help out. There's another 2 things about Mesarthim. She can inherit Ray of Life from her first style, so she also starts with 13 BP. That means that you can use Ray of Life wherever you decide, even 2 times between the turns, and she will revive people around if you need that, but you will have to summon for the first style. So I guess with the inheritance even, and considering the UE heal and everything, I believe this character can even be triple S. Not entirely sure yet, but she got the better buffs and will add into some situations, but we just got Christmas and Press, and to be honest, you don't need both. So even though he has a high grade, you can still skip. Well, in the end, this banner is actually good. We have Asellus that only need Rising Nova Plus to become very good on boss fights, and you can find that easily in her S style that's now permanent in all banners. Mesarthim, even without Ring of Life, is already good enough to help in boss fights as a secondary healer. Rei has the lowest value because what she does can be found easily, but the big problem on this banner is that everything here can be found in other styles. So it doesn't really help your box to keep summoning for characters that have the same mechanics. You have to decide based on what you're missing out. So the banner will receive a silver award, based more on Asellus and Mesarthim. And if you are a fan of the characters, it's not a problem to summon for them, but you can also wait till you get the information of the other banner to decide if you want to pull or not. With all that said, this is my opinion. What is yours? Please see here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the description of the video. Hope to see you soon in the next one. Bye.